level of like trust that like I just came over me. Like it's like I'm not gonna fall. I'm trusting that and you said something too. You're like, where we're going, the beach is just what it is. Because we were like riding our bikes to the beach. It was really
Awesome.
wild. And then I woke up in a panic because I was like, I'm afraid of heights. So
Right.
um,
The lower level ego takes over. Yeah, I'm going to live in the fear, not the
mhm.
expansiveness. Yep.
Thank you. I mean, this is so fun. So, if you all have had a dream that's impacted you, or something pretty in a vision or a download, or some place you were that almost solved a lot of just clarity points, or you got like a deeper calling because you were in a space or a place. That's what we're actually talking about today. And sometimes we're in these situations to get lost and to go on an adventure and put ourselves in a completely different place, breaking through our routines and our habits and our familiarity, in order to kind of be in a space of our next level and break through fears and break through kind of our own self-doubt. That's what today's about. So, welcome everyone to CEO Days March. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Chicago, and we are about to dive into a really fun and just kind of going right into it workshop. I want you to think about this as your last opportunity to really think of that planning phase, right? We've done the plan of our route and our stops in January. February is all about like kind of assessing who we are and how we're going to fit into our plan with your business vehicle. And today is about like more of the destination, like getting excited about visiting the spaces and the places and the just imagination that we need to go to in order to access um, resources for ourselves, right? In order to overcome challenges or break through our own personal barriers. CEO Days really is a place that we can come to get out of our own head. And most entrepreneurs, I would say, that I've spoke to over the past 10 years are always kind of recurring some sort of theme of I reinvent the wheel, or I doubt myself, or I have procrastination, or I don't really know how to manage my time. And last but not least is I feel like I'm not good enough and I have this kind of scarcity mindset. So today I really want us to really go there with thinking we can create a space to overcome that. All right. Does anyone want to share quickly what this, I guess, topic, what you're excited about with this topic, get lost to get inspired? Like, anyone feel like, ooh, this is what I need right now? Let's go ahead and set the intention today, but feel free to share if you're really resonating with this topic right off the bat. So what is it that your intention is?
I'll throw
Yeah.
something in here, Dana, because we left CEO days last month, and Allison and I agreed to be accountability partners, and within like 2 hours after that, so a major thing that I had going on at Edmonton changed 100%.
Mm,
And I got stuck with, not stuck, I had the opportunity to come up with something different, but my teaching partner in Edmonton decided that what they weren't going to do that. And I had contracts for caterers and contracts for space and all these things. And that person quit doing the marketing for it. So I had expenses and no registrants in a city that I've never been to. And that's not a good place. And
no.
the fear was, so I had a choice of staying in my head that you were talking about, right? Or going for a walk and then coming back and figuring out what I could do. And when we talk about like intention for the day, I just got on the phone and started calling people that I kind of knew from Edmonton.
Mhm.
I found two teachers that donated their time for the weekend and got and filled up the workshop with registrants.
Oh my goodness.
All with people that I had never met, that
Wow.
didn't know me, that just said, "Yeah, we'd love to do this. This looks good. We'll donate the time and we'll bring you people."
Amazing.
So it's all around, what can I do?
Hmm.
And the one thing that I can do too is I owe Allison an apology for not. I'm looking forward to seeing her for not sending her an email, and hopefully we can work together this month because last month just changed completely.
It's like that sometimes, and that's a perfect point. I want perfect timing for this point is that you all will go off plan and you will all find a way that Jeff was mentioning in my dream I talked about that you're like you have this immediate reaction of who you are and how you're conditioned to just jump into this fight or flight and freeze up or and whatever you do. And that is not what, like when those things happen, I want us to create the space today to figure out how can we create something miraculous for ourselves. Jeff mentioned just going on a walk, but what is our place that we can go to just get lost for a few minutes, escape the problems, escape the challenges, escape all these hardships we're dealing with, and figure out how do we continue on. Sorry, I'm still getting over some like nasally stuff. Um, so I want us actually to start with our workshop today because it is so important for us to almost create the space for ourselves and put ourselves in this at least a fragment of our lost space, right? Like that place in between all the perfect and all the performance and all the doing. Let's go somewhere where we're almost feeling lost into possibility and wonder and creativity and just nothing else matters but what we feel like we need to go into to feel connected to our most creative and innovative and forward thinking self. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it, my friends. I promise we're going to do a brain dump. Please, I will get there, but we're going to just at least start things a little different today as we get into our Get Lost to Get Inspired, describing our lost place. So this exercise is going to be an exercise of a little bit of wonder and possibility, and almost like come up with something that you may have done before or you may have experienced in terms of you've been to this place before or this was a frequent routine, like maybe it's just every time you feel frustrated you go on a walk or you take a shower or something like that. But or you can go and say it's an actual like dream-like place. Like I remember when I went to New York City after getting laid off from my job in 2016, and I just had time, a time to wander around and to people watch and to just like, I had no idea what time it was. I was literally like a little zombie. While my husband was at work in New Jersey, I just got to go and just recalculate what am I going to do with my life now? I just lost my job. And like, do I go for another job? Do I start my business now? I mean, that was like the moment. It was almost to the weekend that it happened that I planned this trip. And Thursday I got laid off and Friday we left and I was like, all right, I just have to go in a place of just total, what's going to come to me? That was kind of what stood out to me, but let's go ahead step by step. So, in your lost place, you are completely surrendering and not in a surrender to feel like you're giving up or you're letting something that wronged you be right. You're surrendering and saying, not right now, because what I need is to be with myself and nothing else I need to be with at the moment, but just who I need to be with to figure this out so I can move forward. So imagine a place where it's either real or imagined, where you'd love to get lost again. And this is a way to just gain perspective on you. And this could be a cozy cafe, it could be New York City, a busy street, or it could be a place in your home that you just feel like is your safe place, that you know you can just escape to. You could close a door and you could be with yourself. And it could even be as detailed as an entirely new world. Like I had a dream and I was on the top of some crazy skyscraper going down this monorail thing on a bicycle, almost falling off without any rails, like I was saying. It was so weird, but it was a moment of just feeling trust and exhilaration. So what does it look like for you? You want to put some bullet points, you want to throw a little description down. Are you with somebody? Are you alone? Do you notice something that you're wearing? Do you notice what it's smelling like? Or What kind of sights and scenes are around you? What time of day is it? Um, Maybe what are you sitting on? What are you moving on, right? Are you in motion? Are you standing still? Is everything around you in motion? Is everything around you still? So let's just imagine a place where you really just feel your most surrendering moment that you feel like I can go here and I can feel safe and protected and it would be okay. Everything's going to be okay. And then the box number two is getting even more descriptive. So, what are you doing, right? What are you thinking? What are you, um, what are you experiencing as yourself, right? What things are coming to you? What things are happening around you? Describing this place a little bit more. Hello, Angela. Hello, Angela. We are on page four. We kind of jumped right into our workshop today, but we just imagined a place and now we're describing it with what's happening to us, around us. So we're just going right into a place of surrender. And it's not surrender as in we give up or we're calling it quits. It's just not right now kind of surrender when things in our business or our life are a little shaky. Going into a place, whether it's real or imaginative, and then getting really descriptive on it. And so number two is really, I want you to think about like, what is really standing out to you in terms of, your overall just sensations. What are you noticing? What's important? And if you are thinking of an imaginative place, think about the details of that and how we can almost bring it into your everyday life. So if it's like I'm sitting out in nature in this gorgeous vista looking out at the sunset, do you have a place you can walk to or a neighborhood park or something, right? We're going to just bring it together a little bit more when we can reflect on it. So maybe you want to even put that description in there like, ooh, I'm actually thinking of somewhere that seems imaginary, but it is something I also can be practical with, that I can go there that makes me feel similarly, if that makes sense. So let's take another minute or two on that. And kind of the whole point here is just to describe what's important to you. Everyone lights up with different things, right? Everyone feels calm from different ways. Some people like a lot of music, some people like complete silence. So it's important for you to understand maybe there was something hard you went through, and maybe it was surrounding yourself with other people and just getting out of your house and getting out of your loneliness that just helps. And some people love to just be alone, and that's okay too. So think about what is important to you when you need that level of getting lost and getting intuitive to just coming back to you when something happens and something goes off plan. And then as we move on, consider the qualities of this place that can inspire something in your business. So here's where we're getting kind of a little bit more of a let's definitely dream and build and escape and feel the warm and fuzzies, but also let's get a little bit more tactical on what it is that brings it home and brings it back to your business. So is it curiosity? Is it brainstorming and brain dumping? Is it like for me, I know like when I go somewhere, I just look around and I'm thinking, how many different ways can I talk about what's going on? Like what stories can I tell? Because storytelling is an amazing fuel for marketing content because I'm just a marketer. I'm always thinking about ways like I will sell things before I even have something to sell. That's just the way my brain works. I've sold landscaping services to camera equipment to clothes to IKEA shelves, right? Like that's in my line of my history of work. So, what is it that you're going to feel or do to bring in a sense of your work or your environment? So, like for me, I'm always looking at storytelling, but maybe you're looking at If you make clothes or jewelry, you're looking at textures and gemstones and what like things are around you, colors, different patterns that inspire you. What is it about that environment that you're in that can kind of come back to feeling inspired about your work? Um, Maybe it's just play and playtime with nature too. And it's just like are you picking something up? Are you interacting with a thing around you in your magical ideal world? So how does it bring back some kind of life or clarity or just inspiration to your business? And then kind of wrapping it up is like what specific qualities about this place achieve inspiration for you? So, in this example, is it just because it's a calm place without the phone ringing or the computer screen that sometimes is just all you need? So let's kind of make it even more simple is what is it about this place that you've created and made so expansive and luscious and exquisite and beautiful and just miraculous that you can be like, you know what? The one quality about it is it just makes me feel relaxed, or it makes me feel like I'm looking at something pretty when I usually don't, right? Or I'm feeling connected to, art or music or nature. And what is it really that we're looking at that just really gives you an approach to business that you can bring back to the way you do business? Does that make sense? All right. Does anyone need me to review any pieces on this? I know we went rather step by step, but I wanted you to kind of jot some ideas down. Take a moment to elaborate, to get even more clear. And then I want you to share because I want us to feel inspired from each other. Who's really jumping up and down about their get lost place and why? Give us a couple reasons.
I can chime in.
Hi, Angela.
Um, Hi, how are you?
You.
Um, so the place that comes to mind for me is like sitting on a deck somewhere up in the trees with like the sun kind of coming through, and there's like palm trees and big plants and things like that, and a view of the ocean. And the words that came up were just like super clear. It was like ease, wonder, delight.
Mhm.
And thinking about applying that to the business. It's, like, yeah, I want it to feel like so easy, like for people to sign up and like get started and then easy for them to understand how this all works because I'm helping people with data and tracking and things that they're like, "Ugh." And so just like, oh, it's easy. You just sign up and then like give me access, we'll take care of it. And then wonder of like, yeah, you can do that. Whatever idea you have, whatever change you want to make in the world. So like helping inspire wonder and then just having it be delightful and like, I think that comes with the ease and the wonder. But
Yeah.
yeah, having it be beautiful, making sure everything's designed and lovely.
In good weather. But when you aren't on that deck or in the Midwest, right, where I see a fireplace behind you and a cozy blanket, where can you access ease, wonder, and delight? And maybe this is just a retort, like a question to just, oh, I don't know yet. But if you have a way that you can create that getting lost, like, do you create that in your day to day or even a week to week or a month to month, right? Is how do you access that when you need it?
I leave tomorrow for for Florida.
Yeah, awesome. And it sounds like you're also usually alone, maybe in that deck space or somebody with you. right? Are you with an animal? Are you with music? Are you with a journal? So you know, you can go a little bit deeper too with what that feels like. And I love that. I think that was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Because, you know, I as well brought in somewhere I've been, and I'm like, wow, how can I emulate, you know, New York City and in 2016 and not having a place to be or any calls on my calendar, right? I'm a busy mom now. But what I did do is I was so inspired by that trip. I don't know if any of you were with me in 2020, where I used to do Worldview Wednesdays. And I would share on social media on Wednesdays. I would get out of my house. I would take a walk down to the Belmont stop and I would just go east on Belmont and I would find, and I would just literally without any agenda, I'm like, I think I'll get off here and I'll just walk a block or two, turn left or turn right. I'm like, I literally would just go in the city and just get lost for like the whole afternoon, end up somewhere. Oh, I'm hungry. Let me go find somewhere to eat. Oh, you know what? I need to walk into this little thrift store or whatever. And it like literally was something I did for just like 2 or 3 hours on a Wednesday afternoon to go somewhere new. Now I live in the suburbs now, but I am in a walkable spot. But like just going on a walk and not knowing what map I was following, you know, just being completely intuitive. And I'm like, I'm just going to go with whatever I feel. And it doesn't have to even be more than 15 minutes versus 2 or 3 days or a whole afternoon, right? Just creating that sense of I'm lost, I don't know, I'm not going to be in control right now, and I'm just going to surrender to like whatever is going to come up for me, and I'm just going to see things, I'm going to look at things, I'm going to try to put together some stories and just go from there. So wherever you are, right? What can you create? All right, let's hear one or two more. I want to hear from you. What is your space? What is your place? And how do you kind of simplify it to bring it back into your day-to-day business when you need to access this awesome place of healing or just recovery? Or does anyone need any support, right? They're like, oh, I don't know. Is this cool enough? Is it inspiring enough? I'm sure it is. Everyone's different.
Yeah, I can go. Mine was kind of like a, I don't know, a mountain, like rolling kind of forest, hills and stuff like that. Very kind of, with nature, quiet,
Mhm.
you know, blue sky with some maybe rolling clouds, and just kind of being present and quiet and centered and focused. I think I spend so much time in my day to day just running around doing a million different things for a lot of different people. And one of the things that I've been trying to do is do a lower volume of work and also just try to be present, wherever I'm at, whether that be work or personal. So I think it was a nice reminder to um, continue to chip away at that. And when I am finding moments where my mind is completely elsewhere or I'm like busy scrolling on my phone or texting, like to interrupt that pattern and be kind of present and focused on what we're doing and be okay with then closing that door when that moment or that meeting has passed. So that was kind of a helpful reminder.
Something you said really stuck out is you were busy trying to like slow down. Like I was just scrolling, like scrolling is a lot of, and I do it. I'm so guilty. Like if I can't sleep or I'm like thinking, oh, this is my wind down time, but like, oh, what's going on? I haven't touched my phone all day. Like it's a lot of stimulation and it's a lot of just like disconnection and like, whoa. So I wanted to share that too, because I feel like we all have that opportunity sometimes to just get lost in our phones, but it could
Mhm.
be for a different reason. Like, sure, it's good to get lost with a idea of, okay, I'm binging a new concept or I'm trying to learn and get lost into some sort of like solution. Like right now, I'm getting totally lost into ads and I'm trying to learn more about like meta ads and chat GPT and like all this automation stuff, like basically how to create from start to finish like a whole ad campaign in like 30 minutes or less. It's like crazy. But I'm pushing myself to learn a new skill because the market's demanding it. I'm feeling really called to it. But it's so easy to just get wrapped up and to be like, wait, this is like busy work, but I need to like come down from this. This isn't relaxing, right? This is a lot of information. So I really appreciate that you said that too. And I love a mountainside, rolling hills and clouds, kind of puffy clouds coming over a blue sky. That sounds amazing. All right,
Yeah.
let's hear
Dana,
one
real
more. Yes.
Dana, real quick, there's listening to Morgan, we're all, at least I know I could get really busy trying to slow down. And,
Mm, yeah.
there's a quote from the Dalai Lama that, is whenever I feel I'm too busy to meditate for a half an hour, I meditate for an hour.
Mm.
And I've always liked that quote, and when you're talking about a place, I had a real one, which is the bird sanctuary by the lake. But one that I had when I was probably a teenager was that my safe place is going to be in a library in an easy chair that existed 5 minutes in the future. So I would always know what is about to happen. I'd be in a library, I could figure out what to do. But that
Yeah.
thought process of what is it that I can do has stuck with me
Hmm.
my whole life, one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like the library is kind of it's a tricky one because it's like we get lost, but we can get lost into a whole nother world so abundant and so like so vast. It's like, are we clearing our mind? And it's like again, it's good. It's like our what is our intention of getting lost? Is it to get lost to be a distraction or to be a reset? Because I know like my husband, he has to watch TV. That's why there's a TV in this room now. Because he has to watch TV every time he goes to bed. And I'm like the anti-TV person. I'm like, I would never own a TV like in a million years if I lived by myself. But it's funny because I'm like, how are you relaxing when you're just like, it's like so much. I'm like, I need to be off a screen. But it's funny because other people do different things and it's fine, it's different, but I just doubt that I'm like, I don't really think you're really relaxing. It just seems like we're pushing our brain on too far when we need to probably have no screens even like 2 hours ago. So it's interesting, right? What we think we need. But it's good to figure that out for yourself, right? Who feels really inspired about the way that their business right now could use this place? Like, are you feeling so disconnected from this space right now because you've been going, going, going? Like, we've created our plan in January. February was like a year long. I don't know. It was a really rough month. And then I feel like March, we're coming into it where we still have this opportunity to like don't like I don't want you to feel so stuck into what didn't happen since January. It's like we still have time to pivot and to shift and to just be like, wait a second. Let's like recreate what we need to in order to create the life in the business that doesn't feel so heavy, that can feel lighter. And with Angela's words, ease and delight and just almost like I know you didn't say simplicity, but what could you feel to make it as simple as that? So this is why I put this workshop in place because before we just go right into our brain dump on the next page, it's just taking an assessment is like, are we so far off from where we want to be because we just got right into it and are just doing and doing and doing and doing, and we're losing sense of even the desire to follow our plan anymore. Or could we just take a moment and say, you know what, we just need a little bit more time to really sit with ourselves and decide, what we need to do next before we just keep doing. All right. All right. So let's go ahead. And with this, we are going to ease into page 7 here, which is our brain dump. So let's go ahead and get at it. Left side is personal, right side is business. And after this kind of feeling of, wow, we just dreamed up this beautiful place, I want you to apply that to the brain dump. Where in your life may you access this beautiful, serene, refreshing, healing, just inviting place for you? Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I want to welcome Candace, first time CEO Dazer. So if you have questions, Candace, or we're going too fast, just please stop me, okay? So anything that comes to mind on the left side for personal, it could be, I forgot to feed the cat this morning, or I need to make sure that I did that load of laundry or whatever it is, or just like I forgot, I'm going to treat myself with some amazing treat today because that's what I need. Personal side, whatever you want. It's just designed to capture where you are right now. And then the business side, same thing. You can make it a to-do list if you want. You can make it a dream list if you want. You can make it a marketing content list if you want. You can make it I'm gonna brainstorm all the people that I want to invite in my life this week. But you can make it a mix of all of it. But whatever pertains to your business, you put whatever's on your mind on that right-hand side. So this is a space to capture where you are right now, how you're feeling, what's going on, what's stopping you from doing the things you love doing, what's helping you do the things that you love doing that you want to do more of. I did the brain dump on Sunday, but I feel like I need to do it again now. So, who has been using their extra brain dump sheets? You could be honest if you haven't, but like anyone using them from the workbook. I will say I use mine like Angela, you have your Monday hour one. That's what my brain dump is. It's my Monday hour one. And it's been really helpful. So all of mine are completely full, top to bottom. And it's not just because I made this, it's because I think it's actually helpful to like your little to-do list. All right, so we usually take about 10 minutes. Might you add tidying up or creating an opportunity for you to go to your get lost space this week? Maybe it's after this call, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's over the weekend. But is there any reason you wouldn't go there on a regular basis? Do you feel like you only go there or access that place of such amazing breakthrough and leveling up only when you need it or as a regular routine? I forgot to ask you that too, but how do we incorporate that into our brain dump as just curiosity? Like I almost want to put, I know Angela said, I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Florida and to start being among the palm trees and the serene deck and gorgeous light. But okay, does that mean I should start planning a trip or how do I do that? So maybe that's just a question you ask yourself in your personal or business spot. If there's something challenging that you're like, to Jeff's point, when he opened up the call today, his partner just literally crumbled an entire international event that he had paid for and all, was completely done and they just completely dipped out. That partnership really disappointed. But like, what is something similar in your business right now that you just have not been able to overcome? And maybe it's something you've put on your challenges list for the past, I don't even know, 6, 12 months, that it's a recurring theme. When are you going to go to your place and figure that out? Right? So just things that you're going to declare right now, like we need to access that space to get lost and get inspired. Like for me, it was like I needed to figure out a new skill that I could bring home all the things I've been doing and making it what I needed to make it in order to just kind of complete a circle that I've had a hole in for a while. And I feel so much lighter about that. Like, oh, things click now. The messaging is a little bit better because I've been just stuck with all these disjointed things and I had to figure that out. And what did we do? Okay, real exciting. We went down to Peoria, Illinois, and whoever's been to Peoria, Illinois, it's a stinky little river next to the Caterpillar headquarters. But something about just being away out of the house, it was a sunny day. I saw new architecture, new artwork, got to talk to new people. It didn't matter. It didn't have to be fancy. But that's what was available to me, and it actually solved a lot of challenges. All right, we are wrapping up our brain dump. On to the next page, friends. So, page 9, let's get at our wins and challenges and reflections. This is so important because you are completing an entire quarter, right, this month. So, Q1 is almost done. We are heading into like, okay, we got all the information from our taxes last year, what our business really did, what it didn't do, right? Like, let's get really, really intentional about today's reflection. So, thinking back to the previous 30 days, like I said, February, interesting time of the month or time of the year. Um, what really do you feel like you were able to win at? And it could be something you've done, something you've thought of, someone you met, a way that you helped your client, a way that you just completely impressed yourself? What did you do that was so impressive of yourself? Maybe somebody else noticed, maybe they didn't, but what did you really do that you felt, I'm winning at this right now? It's not all that bad. And even just like showing up and saying, I'm just a persistent, consistent, like I'm not a giver upper, right? Amazing. I don't care if you feel like you just do it wrong every day, but you're not ready to quit. Good for you. Like, hell yeah about that. That's amazing. Did you just have a good, conversation with a friend that like really just warmed your heart? Did something you do evoke some sort of emotion for somebody that really made their life changed? Did you come up with a realization about yourself? that just kind of clicked over the last month? You're like, wow, I just realized this is for me or this is not for me. That's a win. Learning about you. Did anything come up that you felt was satisfying about the way you worked or took a break? And if you are feeling very, 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 very stuck, go ahead and flip to your goals for the month from last month. Did you even remember that you had that goal, let alone accomplish something around that goal? Most of the time we set goals and we're just like, oh, completely forgot I was supposed to do that. So was it so substantial that you actually brought it with you all the way and maybe made even a piece of action on it? Did you do an extra brain dump throughout the month that you're like, hey, I feel a little good and relieved about that? I was 2 out of 3 that I did, but the 3 of them seem very, very familiar. So I'm going to put that in my challenge. Like, I have a theme of things I don't want to do. Look at that. So challenges, let's scoot on over. What do you notice you need some help with? What do you recognize that you may need to try something new around? Like the way I've been doing it is just, I wouldn't say not working, but just not seeing what I need to see right now. Because we don't want to give up on things just yet. And we're not going to say we're bad at anything, but we're just not seeing how to really feel about, like, we're not seeing where it's making sense or not. Like, we need to get a little bit more curious about this, ask more questions, probably be a little bit more open-minded instead of closed-minded about, I just can't do it. Then you just quit. No, it's everyone's got to do certain things. You just need to find what works for you. So where is that challenge blocking you from seeing that clarity? What relationships feel very hard right now? I just listened to a podcast the other day about family IFT, like family therapy. I don't know. And it was really insightful.
Internal family systems.
Yes. And I know you know so much about that. Yes. When you were working, do you still work with that group or
The nonviolent communication group.
yeah.
Um, no, it's shifted. I'm doing the like listening workshops now.
Oh, cool. But the nonviolent communication, I'm sure was like there's a lot of things to learn about you and the relationships around you too, which is so powerful. But like sometimes we hold a lot of weight on the relationships that were happening around us, and then it's impacting our work. Maybe there was a really, really difficult client or somebody that you worked with that totally screwed you over. Sorry, Jeff, I didn't mean to. But yeah, like not that they meant to, but just things didn't work out and it felt like, wow, that person really let me down. And maybe that happened to you. And then how you dealt with it is most important to analyze too. Is how do we move through the world with these challenges? And as we write that down, we notice, wow, there's opportunity there. We can go to our get lost place and think about it a little bit more and decide who do we want to be with these very challenging things. I've been reading the Mel Robbins Let Them theory, if anyone's familiar with that. Yeah, Morgan. I like had to rent it again from the Libby library, but then like, all the holds, because I'm just so cheap. I don't buy stuff. I've been like in a super hyper budget mode, but like I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh yes, that's so true. God, I'll just like let them, let them, let them. And then let me is the other side of Mel Robbins' theory about, well, yes, these things are happening to you, and it's not like just let them step all over you, but let me take action and move forward with how to change my course of action or change my beliefs or just change the way that I allow certain things to bother me or not in order to make a difference in my life. Very, very highly recommended book. But yeah, like what are the things that are really in your way and get really descriptive because we wrote a plan in January, writing our route and our stops and all these great things. But guess what? The bumps are on the road. And if we don't write these challenges down, if we're not paying attention to them, they might blindside us and come and give us a flat tire somewhere another time, another place that are on the journey. So let's put as much attention to these challenges as we can. And not to make you feel bad, but to almost make you feel empowered. Let these things happen, but then let me, right, go to my place to get lost and get inspired and figure it out. So I don't have to stay stuck in this terrible spot. No money, no resources, no opportunity, no way forward, no hope, no one to help me. We can change all of that today. All right, let's go to that place. So, how have I felt inspired and refreshed though over the last 30 days? Did you go to your place or a figment or fragment of it, like, or an imagination place of it? Or, have you felt inspired by something else that we want to capture? Yes, Peoria, Illinois. Who would have thought? But it wasn't about the place. It was about quiet. It was about being on the road and not having a schedule. I was just, and you know what the job was? I went for work. It was to capture a storefront for Google My Business for this new client I have. Okay, crazy, but I took full advantage of it because it gave so much back to me just to get out of my house and go somewhere new and look around and capture stories and bring my camera, right? And just eat different food, whatever, just get out of the normal. It's been really sunny here in Chicago. Has that impacted anyone? That sunlight feels really good. Have we been able to get out? The weather's getting warmer. Has that been helping you? Um, how has your calendar felt? Have you felt inspired or refreshed around what you're putting on your calendar? Because guess what? If there's stuff on your calendar you're not excited about, you put that on there. Sorry to be real, but like you invited those tasks or those people or those events into your life. Get real. Was it really that inspiring and refreshing? So let's decide. Where do we feel stuck or uninspired? Are you waking up every day and just picking up your phone? Or do you do some sort of like me time? There's really no reason at all. I'll tell you this because I was such a victim, which I thought a victim of my own self, what's the word? Just kind of self-destruction, I'll be honest, where I was just like, oh my God, I gotta work, I gotta work. I'm gonna let all these people down. Da, 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 da. 2019, 2020, 2021 even. It was like there was no way that I could just wake up with ease and flow and not feel like I just couldn't like I just had to go, 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 go. And now I'm like, I'll get to it when I feel like it. Because when I feel like it, I can do it 10 times faster and with so much more power and excitement. When I try to do things I don't feel like doing, guess what? Procrastination, the scrolling, just the bad ideas, the stuckness, it doesn't happen, right? So you just waste your own time, I feel like. All right. Reflection, done. So let's kind of look at it. And I want us all to celebrate our wins. What wins do we have? How are we feeling about the month from February to March here? What goodness did we bring into this beautiful world we live in? Through our life, through our business, through our relationships. Someone we haven't heard from, if you don't mind. You all have got at least wrote down something. Let's hear a good piece of news. Go ahead and unmute.
Like you said, February was just crazy, so I'm lumping January in with it. I have been able to do a lot of mindset work and had some breakthroughs that have been really helpful, both personally and professionally. And I'm just slowly been able to add in more habits that are helping me move forward. So,
Yeah, great. And celebrating that, whatever time it took to build those habits, it's done now, right? Like that's amazing. Amazing. That's great. Who else has got a big win? Big or small, it doesn't matter what size they are. They're special in their own way. Come on, get your wins out there into the world. Be proud of yourself.
Um, I would
Yeah.
say having an accountability partner for my 12-week year that I like really enjoy and connect with.
Mhm.
Um, I've gone through a couple different ones, and she and I really sync well. So we've both kind of reflected on how that's helped us, on top of what we need to do. It's been cool.
Amazing. And it's good to find somebody who like you can spend time together without like one way or another, like "Ugh, you're talking too much or like whatever. Like, okay, we're here. We're gonna be in the same flow of what this time is, and it feels really good, and we're gonna get what we need, and that just feels really good. I love it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, and
right.
she has, I mean, we're in different parts of our like stages of our practice, which people
Mhm.
had told me not to do, because she's more junior than I. But she's older than me, just kind of this kind of a second career for her. But she's very like on the marketing side and like has completely different kind of skill sets. So we get through like our tactics and stuff, and then whatever time we have left over, we're usually like teaching each other things. So yeah, it's been really perfect.
I'd almost say like, yeah, somebody more junior might have a whole nother shift or perspective on like just some like a new like they just bring something new to the table, right? In so many
Mhm.
ways. But yeah, I love that because I mean somebody's always gonna be more experienced than the other. Like we all don't start at the same day, the same time, right? So it's gonna happen. So that's awesome. Candace, you look like you're in your happy place right now. Like that would be my happy place, my get lost place. Is all those windows, all that sunshine, a cozy, comfy couch.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't unmuted because my 3-year-old is being noisy back here.
Mm.
But my win was I teach birth classes and I'm a doula. And there was a doula certification that I wanted that required doing 4 births where I get like evaluation forms from the OB or midwife and the client. And I finished my certification births and got like all the numbers that I wanted to get from the care provider evaluations. So,
For you. That's amazing. Oh, I love to hear it. So that's going to take you far and beyond. I love that. The next set, the next month, and forward from here. Very good. And yeah, that's just on top of your work, you're getting an extra certification. So kudos to you for handling all that. All right, my good friends, we are going to move on to just a last exercise before we get into our get it done time. Let's analyze the needs versus excess, right? New this year, but very, very practical way. When I filled mine out, I was very like, holy cow, like it almost just laid out like the most successful month needs to happen this. And I was like, wow, I just follow this and it's all I need. So on the top are things that are needed. So if you're following along with us, just write a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 or 5 things that are needed, 4 or 5 things that are excessive. The needs part is like when you're looking at your month, you're like, oh, hold up. If I would have just focused on these key things, whether they're specific tasks or like mindsets, like, right? For me, it's like focusing on scheduling ahead. When I'm doing something, just do the next 3 while I'm already sitting down. Schedule the next things, right? Um, Something in your morning routine, whatever it is, how to manage things that to just make the overwhelm shrink. What do you need to do to just make it happen little by little? Then the things that are excessive, right? We talked about scrolling when we're trying to relax or you know, what did I say? Oh, being stuck in plan mode all the time when I just get something down on paper and then just go right into action taking, right? Like planning mode and making it so elaborate. That's just excessive for me. Like, I don't need to spend the time doing that. Or just negatively thinking about my own worth and thinking I have to do more or have to need to do XYZ additional things. Like, just focus on a couple little wins, 20 minutes a day. So, like, think about what it is for you. That's very general that you can do to focus on what's needed and then just recognize, you know what? When I see these things excessively coming up, I just shift and pivot and I just quickly reframe that, like, you know what, this is excessive. I need to stop, almost policing yourself a little bit, right? This is happening again, little habits coming up that I'm either whining too much or complaining too much or going down a deep dark hole about something. Like, nope, reshift. Come on, we can do this. Um, so maybe you need more time to have fun or to go to your happy place or to rest even, and then you don't do the bad things, right? So needs versus excess. See what you need from last month and then what you can cut out. If anyone needs support or help on this or more examples, I'm happy to do so. It's funny because last month, the things that I didn't get to was like a lot of individual follow-up. But it turns out that now I wrote that as excessive. It's like I don't need to do a lot of individual follow-up. I need to start automating a few things. So it's funny that, like, oh yeah, the things I thought I needed are actually excessive this month. And that's okay too. We constantly need different things. We constantly need different things, and that's okay. All right, who's really excited about what they need? What do you need? Let's go ahead and hear it. What do you need? Does anyone need to meet somebody? Like, need to know somebody or have a resource? When you share what you need, we actually could help you. That's one thing I know. I have a friend who is Kira. She has an accountability group for working out. So even just exercising once a day, right? 20, what is it, Sarah? 20, 30 minutes? What's her workouts? Sarah knows. But it's like about 20 minutes, right? 20 or 30 minutes. She does a live broadcast workout. And it's like, just get on that, subscribe to that, because if you just need a stretch or a little pump for the day, that's like a great one. So even if you just need a midday break, we can introduce you to Kira's accountability buddies for accountability workouts. So yeah, if it's something with your body, your mind, your soul, your work, your relationships, what is it that you need? When we are good, just give me a little thumbs up. I feel like I'm going fast, but I just feel like it's a little different because we switched up our schedule here, but I guess we're usually on time here, but do we need another minute or two for needs versus excess? I don't want to rush anybody. Okay, friends. All right, we are entering into our getting productive time. So in this time, you can finish something really, really important, whether that's a business funnel, an automation. I'm thinking marketing, right? Like, how do you make money without needing to make money, but just making money? So, how do you do something in your business that you can set up and you can really make a big impact on your business for this month had you just had 30, 40 minutes to just get it drafted, get it completed, get it done, get it scheduled, get it completely out there into the universe where now you can pour more fuel into it. The next few days you can trickle more things onto it, but you needed that big chunk of time to just get it up there, right? Get it done, get it submitted, get it drafted. What is that for you? If you don't know, I mean, think about it too. We are in the last month of Q1. So did you have something big that you had intended for the year that it's kind of like you didn't even finish it yet, right? Or you need to really wrap this up. If you're like the 12-week year, Morgan's thinking his year's already over. Um, what is something you just need to tie up some loose ends because you built all this quarter creating and marketing and pushing and selling, and now you just have to, let it reach the finish line if you're thinking 12-week year, which is great. But this is your time, my friends, get out of planning mode and let's get it done. So what is it that you need to get done? You can throw it in the chat. You can say it out loud. If you declare what it is, you're going to be more accountable. I think it's 60 to 70% more accountable to actually finishing it if you describe it finished. So describe it to us finished. And who does not know what they need to be working on today? Who feels like it's still just a blunder of, I'm here in my business, but I'm just doing the things I think I need to do, and I'm not really quite sure, and that's okay too. Maybe you need to kind of just look a little bit more on your wins and challenges and figure out what that big thing is. So Jeff, when was that workshop? Did that already happen? Or is it happening this month?
Yeah, it was 2 weekends ago.
Wow.
And so my next 40 minutes is the most important thing I can do now is I have some personal emails to write to the people that attended who changed their whole weekends in very short notice to go from Friday night all the way through Sunday
Wow.
with less than 2 weeks notice. And we had, 16 people plus the three of us. And plus, while we've been on this call, I got my last invoice for the room rental, so I can pay that and get that done
Oh my
and
gosh.
off of my stress level.
Yeah. Wow. It feels good to pay bills, doesn't it?
It
Like
does.
when
Pay
you
them
have the
first.
money. Such a good feeling. Like, here you go. This was meant for you anyways, right? We just welcomed it in. Okay, cool. I love that. That's a good and in the personal email follow-up too would be something along the lines of just maybe a feedback or next steps or something. Because I mean, who knows when you're going to go to Canada next, right?
Well, that was the best part at the end of it. The two teachers said we need to do this, make it at least an annual event and hopefully more often.
Yeah,
So it's turned into, okay, let's generate some ideas,
that.
and do something in August and then something next February.
There's so much power in collaboration, right? When you put what you do and match it with somebody else and just say, I don't want to do this alone. Let's do it together with the right people, of course. So much comes out of it. So I love that. Okay, cool. All right, write what you're doing in the chat, please, my friends. I want to hold you accountable. We got a long 40 minutes here to go. And I want to know what you're working on, not to babysit you, but like to give you that 60 to 70% accountability success rate. I'll just share, I'm putting 2 new events up on my website and all the things that come up with that.
I am working on creating a slide deck for a baby sign language presentation that I'm doing with Collaboration for Early Childhood Education next week. And
Very nice. Amazing. That's going to be fun. It's a good use of time because that's like a good piece to have and you can repeat in the future. You'll have that done. Beautiful. Love that. Mhm. Okay, so many great things in here. Sarah, you set the tone. I love that for putting our contact information there. So good reminder. Contact information if you'd like to network here. It's a great space to just kind of share what you need, get accountability, share resources, or just follow up with somebody new. You're like, hey, I went to CEO days. Dana's a little crazy, but what business could we do together? So I won't get offended. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up any things on page 13 that you need to do. So write those down if you didn't finish what you were intended to work on, put your little to-do list and when you want it due by, because this particular project, I believe you don't have to move it to your goals list. Like you could probably get this done. You're so close, you're so motivated. So just get really specific on how your brain's working right now. You're firing at all cylinders. Let's get this thing wrapped up, okay? And then other notes like, hey, I came across this challenge, or you know what, I need a little bit more time and support to work on this. You know, I want you to get this task done. So put any notes that you feel like you need further clarification or resources on. And then we're going to move on to our plan. So let's go ahead and get to our March 30-day action plan. If you're following it on the workbook, we are on page 14. If you are not on the workbook, you can kind of just take a look at how you'd want to lay it out. So maybe just create a square, a couple squares on your piece of paper, however many goals you want to set. I usually set 5 a month just to kind of almost break it down like week by week and maybe like an overall goal. So with your goals, be as specific as possible with quantifying data. So if you are looking at your goals and saying, okay, I want to make more money this month, like, okay, I want to increase my revenue by 10%, or I want to sell 15 new, workbooks this month, or whatever you want to do. Get very specific on the numbers so you can get really clear on making progress each week. Like, okay, then that's just 2 a week or 3 a month or whatever you got to do. So you could break it down and get more closer to this goal so we can actually achieve things. It's so easy to just say, I want, but if we're not breaking it down into little steps, it feels really overwhelming. The next part is due date. If we don't set a due date, it's going to be really hard for us to put it in our calendar. So putting a due date on it helps us not only create the urgency in this list to say, all right, if I'm looking at all these things, what needs to happen by when? For instance, I'm hosting a fun, just something I'm doing just out of the, kind of by need and by just something I wanted to do is teach a sourdough baking class, and it's going to happen on March 21st, but I can't be done with all the things I need to do beforehand by March 21st. So I need to go by, it was by today's CEO days, I was going to have the class up on my website so I can drive traffic to my website and, do it that way versus just sending out a payment link. And it's kind of confusing. So was able to get that done. And then you kind of just go through like what else is needed. So in your goals, you not only have the goal to achieve, but you also need to break it down. What's needed to have that goal broken down into little micro steps. So you're able to just go check, 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 check every week. You can check those things off and you know that you're making progress on them. And then other notes. So other things that you want to incorporate, such as tools, other resources, such as people or organizations, or just maybe notes as in like, I'm just brainstorming a bit more of how I want this goal to look and how I want to achieve it. Okay. So the action plan is going to be really thorough. I hope that in March we get out of this mode of just go, 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 go. And we also incorporate a little bit of our getting lost space, right? Maybe you want to visit that 2 or 3 times this month. I love that as a goal because I know that you going into that place is going to help you do things with more ease, with more purpose, with more just connection and alignment to who you are and how you want to work. But also, I know getting lost also gets you inspired. It'll help you come up with more creative ideas, especially in this world of, competition on the web and, everything's got to be, more and more and more in terms of content and faster and how people are processing. You can really figure out how you're going to stand out this month and this year in business by going more to the places that you can go inward and find who am I and how do I want to do this and does this feel right to me? That's going to help you create such a better, more purpose-led business in this day and age, okay? So add a couple of those visits to your getting lost place into your goals as well. That's not a bad one. I feel like you'll come up with a lot of good stuff there. All right, so let's get our goals down, my friends. Work sprints always like give me such a rush. Like, I'm like, oh gosh, that was a powerful stint of energy. Super fun. So goals 1 through 5, what do they look like? What do they feel like? And if you can get a couple squeezed into your calendar, that would be even better for today. I'm feeling really good about March. I don't know about all of you, but my goals are just, they haven't before, but they're really exciting me because I feel like I'm really close to a lot of cool things. There was a lot of learning so far this year, which I am grateful for. All right. When you have a moment, one takeaway from CEO days today. I would love to hear it. What did this space give you the opportunity to do, to create, to experience? Candace, how was your first CEO days?
It was good. It was helpful to make myself focus for that 40 minutes for sure.
Yeah. Even with a, toddler and fun, in the background, it's always nice to be able to feel like you got something accomplished. Good.
Mhm.
Who else? How did it go for you, Sarah?
I don't know. It's fine. Just kind of frustrating. Haven't done like a slide deck presentation type thing since I was in college many years ago, and it's
Is it like the tech or is it just
annoying.
like figuring out what to put where?
Template, that had them all already set out, and then like it's not letting me change things that I want, like the way I want to. And now when I'm trying to add a slide to just like do it from scratch, it's adding it with the template,
Oh,
like
are you using
stuff. So I don't know. It's just,
presentation? Yeah. Oh man. Well,
I'll figure it out, I'm sure. I was just hoping it'd be really quick, and it wasn't. So
hopefully you got at least you get your ideas down, which is most
yeah.
important. Okay. Well, hopefully it wraps up for you too. Danielle, we haven't seen you in a little bit. Was it a good revisit today?
Yes, I actually feel like I'm gonna get work done now that the last 2 months are over.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
absolutely.
got a lot done, a lot of my scheduling, so that's good.
Good, 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 good. All right, everyone. Well, it's noon and I want to get everyone out here to their tasks. But if there's anything else you'd like to share, please feel free to email me or, share with me any takeaways. If you need any help with anything or support, definitely reach out. So have a good one and we will see you in April. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy the sunlight. Bye-bye.